In the land of gurus and furus, or what I call fake gurus, there's always the next system, tool, CRM, and AI gadget being sold to you at every twist and turn. Most of that does nothing for you. In this video, I am going to give you the exact tech tools, systems, and processes that we've used to do hundreds of off-market real estate deals direct to seller with no fluff. Let's get right into the video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Cole Ruud-Johnson. Since 2018, my business partners and I have sourced hundreds of off-market real estate deals, and that's led to me starting multiple seven-figure companies and being featured on the Bigger Pockets podcast, amongst others. What I've found to be true is simple scales and fancy fails. You're going to leave this video with the exact tools you need to do as many off-market deals as you want. No AI stuff, no BS trying to sell you something, and no upsells. Sourcing your own real estate deals, whether you're an agent or investor, is challenging enough in of itself. But with gurus and furus overcomplicating it on your social media feeds all day, every single day, it can feel next to impossible. And that is their goal. Their goal is to take a simple, straightforward concept, make it seem complicated so they can sell you the supposed solution. This game is really a sales and marketing game at its core, and the tools and tech you should be using should really only be there to make those two functions easier, simpler, and more efficient for you. That's it. Anything outside of that scope is just a BS fancy thing that you don't actually need. That simplifies it a little bit, but now let's get into really simplifying it. There's an acronym that I want you to hold on to as you work your way through this video. That acronym is SCAR. SCAR is simplicity creating clarity, that clarity creating confidence, that confidence creating action, and that action creating results. See, most people don't fail in this business because they're lazy, they suck, they're not smart enough, or they don't have a high enough IQ. They fail because there are too many ways to succeed. They're constantly getting stuck jumping from one shiny object to the next and the next after it because there's so much overcomplication and they've been sold a bag of goods that is just not true, and they're not focusing on the things that actually matter. Here are some interesting stats to think about as you follow along this video. From 2015 to now here in 2024, on average, 5 to 6 million homes, single-family homes in the U.S. has sold successfully each year. Out of those 5 to 6 million, 1 in 7 sell off market. Out of those 6 million last quarter, so call it 2 million last quarter or 1.5 million last quarter, which is a Redfin stat, out of quarter 2, 2024, 1 in 6 of those was an investor purchase. However, only 10 to 20% of active real estate investors actually source their own deals. What this tells you is that if you figure out this part of the business, you automatically have a leg up on 80 to 90% of your competition. Now that sounds like a problem worth solving. And the best part of this video is what you're learning here is going to help you solve that. So now that you understand what solving this problem will do for your business, let's bust some common myths around sourcing deals off market and the systems and tools that you need. First off, you don't need to break the bank to have the right tools and systems to do this. The $2,000 AI tool that's being sold to you, you don't need. You don't need to understand coding, tech, or AI. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. And you don't need a bajillion different platforms, just 2 to 3 to run your business efficiently and source as many deals direct to seller as you want, whether you're an agent or an investor. Now that you know you're fully capable of doing this, let's get into the meat and potatoes. The first and boring part of what you need to set up your direct to seller system is an organizational foundation, somewhere to store documents, purchase and sale agreements, photos of properties, and things of that nature. I recommend simply using Dropbox or Google Drive for that. The second thing you need is a company playbook, somewhere to store your SOPs, somewhere to store your processes, somewhere to store your policies, somewhere to organize and create culture and rhythm around your company. I recommend using Trainual, Notion. There's a lot of different solutions for that, but those are the two that I have used in my businesses, Trainual and Notion. Then you need a good foundational finance function. The two things that I love right now that are next-gen banking platforms, one is Mercury, and Mercury is a great next-gen banking platform where you don't pay wire fees and it's very easy to use. And then for a corporate card, Ramp is an amazing corporate card to use to control your AR and AP or accounts receivable and accounts payable. Then you have bookkeeping. And if you guys are already running a real estate business, you're probably not that great at bookkeeping. Having QuickBooks Online and someone for $200 to $300 to handle your bookkeeping is insanely valuable and a huge piece of adding immediate value to your business. And then, of course, you need a CRM. My favorite CRM right now here in 2024, as you're watching this video, is REI Simply. And what I want you to focus on with REI Simply is the fact that it has the core 3 when it comes to a good CRM. 1, it has integrated phone and email. So integrated communication systems so you can communicate with your sellers and your sales team can communicate with sellers easily through the platform. Everything can be tracked. The second thing is automated nurture sequences and drip campaigns. So as your pipeline grows, you can communicate in a streamlined way and make sure you're not missing on opportunities and nothing's falling through the cracks. The third thing that it has is accurate KPI tracking. If you don't know your data, you are flying blind. And if you are guessing, you do not have a business. So knowing your KPIs is the third core function your CRM has to have. And if you're not going to use REI Simply, who I'm not affiliated with, I just love them, I recommend you find someone that has those core three as a foundational part of your tech stack. Then we get to the first core competency of this business. If you remember earlier in the video, we talked about how this business, off-market deal sourcing, whether you're an agent or an investor, is really a game of sales and marketing. Everything else is fluff. So let's get to the most important part, right? Because if you don't have marketing, if you don't have leads, sales doesn't matter. So let's get into how to create leads using the right systems. Well, the first thing that you need to understand is data. And there's a lot of different platforms that you can get data and use data in your business. And I want you to focus on three different types of data. You have general data, you have niche data, and then you have predictive data. For general data, that's your high equity, your long-term ownerships. Those are people that don't have an immediate need to sell, but do have an indicator that they're more likely to sell. That can be bought using ListSource, PropStream, Atom data, and that's general data, not as motivated. If you want the niche lists, right, your pre-foreclosures, your bankruptcies, your evictions, your pre-probates, your probates, lists of that nature, using a service like Foreclosures Daily or Data Syndicate, or simply going to your county and emailing, calling in, or showing up in person and getting them fresh from the county every single month is a great way to target people with immediate need. And then some of my favorite lists are machine learning lists. And there's a couple different platforms for that, and I'll list them out from not expensive to expensive. The first one you have is ReallyFlow, now known as LeadFlow, and they have a AI machine learning rental score, retail score, and wholesale score. And the wholesale score is the one you want to focus on if you're an investor, retail if you're an agent trying to find listings, but it's going to rank people based on about 10,000 different data points and their likelihood of taking a certain action, selling off market, listing, or selling a rental. Then you have more expensive options. Medium tier is Prospect Now. Prospect Now is a great way to find. They have a likely to sell list, which is a machine learning list. And then the most expensive one, but probably the highest quality, is the Audantic list. Audantic likely to sell list is a couple of, it's thousands and thousands of dollars per year, per quarter, but it's well worth the money if you have that to make an investment. Then you have skip tracing. What skip tracing is, it's finding phone numbers and emails. And a lot of people make the mistake of going cheap on skip tracing. So they go out, they run their first list, but they spend $5,000 or $500 on a bad data and they don't get any leads. The service I recommend is Easy Button Skip Trace, easybuttonskiptrace.com, where you can get phone numbers and emails back in a matter of minutes. And it has about a 98% accuracy rate in terms of numbers coming back. Then you have list stacking, right? And what list stacking is, it's another core marketing piece to improve your marketing. And what that is say I go buy a pre-foreclosure list and then an absentee list, and then I go buy a predictive list. Well, I can take all those lists and I can stack them together. And if I want to really focus my marketing dollars, I can focus on people that just show up on 3 lists or 4 or more lists. So you're talking to your highest likelihood of sale prospects first. Then you have Batch Dialer. Batch Dialer is a great dialer if you're going to be doing cold calling by yourself or your team. It's a great foundational system to do outbound dialing. Those are the basic systems of marketing, you guys. If you're doing mail, you can use Redstone Mail and Print. You can also use open letter marketing. There's a lot of options out there for mail as well. So that's the first component of this business and how you can be successful with marketing and setting up your marketing funnel. Other things you want to do by building your brand is you want to have a basic website set up. You can visit my company's website, hellopad.com, to see the basics there with testimonials, with a video, and make it feel lively and real with real testimonials. The second core competency in this business is sales. And there's a couple things that make the sales part of this business much easier. A couple systems. Again, all the systems in our business should support our marketing function or our sales function or operations, transaction coordination, things of that nature, but primarily sales and marketing. The first thing with sales is understanding drip sequences and nurture campaigns. These are things your CRM should have, but you want to make sure they're dialed in. What I mean by that is it's very simple to use and you have 365-day automations in there. So if people aren't answering, they're not slipping through the cracks. Then, which I'll talk about more later in this video, you can access all of our sales training, scripts, documents, workflow review later in this video. That's a couple hundred videos and resources and SOPs for your sales team if you're building a sales team or you just want to get better at sales. Then we have Balto.ai, which is a very cool tool for your sales team to monitor your sales team to make sure they're using their scripts, to rank calls for you. It's an AI tool. One of the only I'll recommend. It's not that expensive. It's $100 per person. And it essentially coaches them real time on every single call so you can get more out of your sales team team and they can be more efficient. Then we got to talk about cloud phones. A lot of salespeople make the mistake in this business of calling a different market from a different area code. Well, so a good cloud phone system like smartphone should, one, integrate with your CRM if your CRM doesn't already have this feature, and allow you to call and text out from local area code numbers, track your team's calls, listen to recordings, and really have an efficient communication system. And the goal of the sales process is to take core competency number one, leads, and be as efficient as possible, turning those leads into opportunities, appointments, and eventually contracts, which then turn into revenue, whether you're wholesaling, flipping, developing, whatever you're doing with these deals. Hiring, guys, a bonus lesson here. We've talked about the two core competencies and the systems you need to be efficient there, sales and marketing. Hiring is another important piece. And I want to talk about more later how you can access the hundreds of videos that we have, hiring docs, and our hiring pool, which where you can hire pre-vetted talent. But I want to talk about if you're going to go out and hire. A first great system to use is Upwork, you guys. Most investors suck at building a business because they suck at delegating. And using a platform like Upwork or Fiverr or onlinejobs.ph, you can go hire a $4 an hour admin assistant or other positions in your company to help you buy back your time and focus on high leverage work, which is sales and marketing, talking to as many sellers as possible by creating good opportunities with good marketing. Then if you want to pay your employees and train them well, you can use Deal to pay them, whether they're overseas or stateside. Deal is amazing, DEEL. But hiring branch is an amazing way to train them and make sure they're qualified to work on your team. I'm going to talk more about management basics later in this videos as well. So what this leads to, guys, is Carl right here, which you can see who's absolutely crushing it, understanding how to have the right systems to grow his off-market efforts. He just transitioned from being an agent to a full-time wholesaler now because he's crushing it at such a high degree. And you can see 2 or 3 other testimonials right above me here talking about what having the right systems does to sourcing your own deals off market. I talked a lot through this video, especially in the sales and marketing competency sections, about how to access our hundreds of videos, SOPs, and things to make this easier for you. Well, I started this video talking about gurus and furus, which are fake gurus. People that did a deal or two and then decided to start selling you information because they didn't actually want to do the work to grow a business. Well, I am anti-course. You will not find a course from me online that's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. What I did is I took everything I've learned in this business from the past almost 7 years and hundreds of deals, and I turned it into a community where you can access it all for the price of a Subway meal. I'm talking 500 plus training videos covering every part of this business with nothing left out. I'm talking about a documented client journey. So whether you're doing 1 deal a month, 10 deals a month, you're an agent, you're an investor, you're a developer, you know exactly what you need to focus on to break through the next plateau. I'm talking about every vendor we use at a discount that I've talked about here. I'm talking about weekly live training and Q&A calls, getting your questions answered for you and your team and helping you grow. I'm talking about a forum for discussion with people talking back and forth about ideas all day, every single day. You can access all of that below this video for $27 at the price of a Subway meal. That money goes back into me being able to create amazing content with my content team, me being able to create great products for you guys and continue to grow the distribution and get the word out there that your business, you cannot rely on referrals. You cannot rely on luck. You got to go out and learn how to create a pipeline. And when you do, this business gets incredibly fun. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. A like, a subscribe here on YouTube. Reach out to me on Instagram, other social medias. I listen to you guys. That's how these ideas come up. And there's a lot of fluff out there. And I'm trying to make tactical ways for you to grow your business and do more deals. You can follow along my journey building my companies on different platforms like Instagram at Cole Ruud-Johnson, Twitter at Cole Ruud-Johnson, here on YouTube. I talk a lot about how I've grown multiple companies to 7 figures per year and how I continue to do that. You can also listen to the Easy Button Investor podcast, which I put out 1 to 2 episodes per week. Short to the point, 7 to 15 minute episodes for your drive to work to understand how to get a little better that day. Until next time, just remember that next deal could change your life and you are only 1 deal away.